Good day. Namaste. This is going to be an interesting topic today. Oh boy. It's called Nothing Bad Happens. I know I'm probably going to get some interesting responses to this one. I got my money water here. So, let's get to it. Nothing bad happens. What does that mean? Nothing bad happens means that everything that you perceive as bad in the moment actually turns out to be something positive. When you look at the story of Job in the Bible, you look at, he goes through all these trials and tribulations, and you say that the devil did all these things to him. But what you have to look at is that the devil had to get permission from God before the devil did anything, which means God is always on the positive side. So while the devil is, stealing, killing, destroying, all those things, the permission has to come from God. So what is the devil's role? And I'm not talking about the physical devil that everybody says is underneath us or whatever. I'm just talking in a negative, positive perspective. When something negative happens to you, what is the purpose of it? And a lot of us think that bad things happen to us just because it just happens. There's no reason for it. There's nothing good that can come out of these things. And really, that's couldn't be further from the truth. When you recognize the greatest lesson that I received is when I began to recognize that everything negative, everything bad, is actually has a purpose in my life. And what it is it's here to shine a light on the things that you need to work on. It's here to shine a light on some hidden places inside of you, or maybe not so hidden. You might know that you have an anger issue, and then somebody comes up, acts a fool, and you explode, and something happens. You might have some other type of issue, and you respond the way you know you're going to respond. And what does life do? Life punishes you. Something, and it's not life. It's somebody comes along and takes you away or something. You know what I mean? So it's not that it's life itself that you see punishing you. I mean, life doesn't come and say, hey, you're in trouble now. It's you have a bad result. You have a negative result. Now, what do you do with that? Do you say, hey, they shouldn't have been running their mouth? Do you say, hey, they shouldn't have parked in my parking spot, or, whatever it is? No. You say, what can I do to improve myself so I don't end up in this situation again? Because what will happen is it'll progressively get worse and worse and worse until you do something about it. So you'll find yourself cycling in the same things that you know you need to correct, and you'll get a warning. You'll get like a second warning. You get a third one. And then after so many warnings, and life doesn't always just give you warnings. Sometimes it's a smack upside the head. I got a bullet in my head. I got shot in the head, and I wasn't doing anything wrong. Having said that, it was a wake up call, and you have to say, well, what is the purpose of this? Is it something that I need to work on? What do I need to improve? Do I need to be more aware? And there's multiple lessons you can get from every situation. So it's not just one thing typically. Typically, it's a lot of different things that you'll find that will benefit you once you really break down the situation, and once you really become present to what you need to do to improve your life. Because this is what life is about: improving yourself. Life is about being the best you can be, to striving the depths of who you are and rising to the tops of the greatness you can achieve. So when life is viewed in that perspective, because everything else is a lot of garbage, everything else is a lot of negativity, everything else is a lot of trouble and heartache and issues, okay? So when you focus on life is here to benefit you no matter what, then you start saying, okay, well, what is the benefit of this? What do I need to work on? And so you get to these situations and you grow. And that's what you're here to do. And if you don't grow, then we know what happens. So let's look at these negative situations, the bad, as good, because as my man's rest in peace always used to say, he struggled with selling drugs, this and that, but rest in peace, Notorious Big. He said, "It's all good, baby, baby." So what does that mean? That means all the bad stuff that happened was for the good. And whenever somebody says, "Oh, they do something," they be, "Oh, my bad," you be like, "It's all good, man. Don't worry about it." So it's all good means it's all good. And when we handle it's all good from that perspective, then it changes everything. Now your life is in the positive. Now your life is moving forward. So the so-called devil can come after you, but the devil's here to make you sharper. You're here to defeat the devil. That's what your job is. You're here to defeat. Yeah, I said it. So you're not a victim in this situation. In any situation, you're not a victim. Now, things might happen to you that are, out the box. They tough, and it's hard to fathom it with certain situations. Certain situations, it's like, no, such and such happened to me, and yes, that is true. Now, what you do with that is you say, now what is created from this? What do I do with this? How do I turn this in? Because the worst things in your life wind up being the best things in your life when you really look back at it. And that's if you can look at it from a positive perspective. If you're gonna have a negative perspective, then somebody can come drop you $1 million and you'd be like, they gave me that million and I went and got strung out on drugs. So it's it's their fault that I'm like this. So a negative person can turn anything negative. But with your job, or what you can choose to do, because I'm not here to tell you anything, is what you can choose to do is take each situation and turn it around for the best for you. So that's about it for today, or at least for this video. I'm thankful that you're watching, for liking and subscribing, sharing, all that good stuff. And for my people in Senegal, Ajarama, thank you. Donka, Shalom, Salam.